Hello, welcome to the Brewgooders episode 242. I'm Jeff. To my to my right is John, and we're just going to chat through some comics and assorted geekery, maybe a wee bit of beer chat, whatever wonderful want to talk about. How are you? You all right?
I'm all right, yeah. It's just been a weird, long day.
No, I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but it's weird. I mean, it's not been a bad day. I mean, I was at work first thing in the morning, and then went and watched Fantastic Four, and then I came home to Builders. So, yeah.
Okay.
Good times.
Yeah, it seems a bit all over the place. I've had a pretty weird week. I saw Stu on Saturday as I was having another van-related meltdown, and then literally 10 minutes after, basically I had what I thought was a gas problem. I needed to go and do something else. I thought I slammed my the boot of my van door shut in kind of like frustration, and I crushed my coffee machine plug. So I had to completely rewire my coffee machine. But Stu helped me, and I think we both felt slightly more masculine at the end.
Oh, yes.
That feeling when you do something that you should be able to do as a gentleman, and you manage, and you're like, yes, fucking, I created fire.
Like, I was doing that with the Builders earlier. They were talking to me about things and stuff, and I was like, so hammers, eh? Oh, good times. Good times. Diggers, huh? Oh. So yeah, manly chat.
I hope everything's all right, and it's just going to be one of those things that'll sort itself out.
It's just bizarre things. It's we're getting a new drive put in the back, and it seems that the previous tenant built up the back drive, and he's built it up with just random tat. We found a bone. I joked about finding a skeleton, we actually found a bone. Window frames, drums, car headlights, you name it, we found it.
You just buried it and then tried to build on top of it.
Yep. So yeah, job's going to cost a wee bit more. So that's just a little bit of But other than that, hey, it's been a great day.
Okay. I'm glad to hear it. I've had a really good week. As I say, Stu helped me out of a funk on Saturday, which you'll probably never realise just how fucking much he helped me. And then for the rest of the day, it was excellent. And then it was weird, the van things clicked. So Sunday was great, Monday was great, and then yesterday it was mentally but busy. My van, I made 2 weeks worth of sales targets in one day. Oh, yesterday.
Just goes to show you. Yep. I think your little post that somebody put on Love Kirkcaldy for you did quite well for you. That seemed to be a lot of support.
What a lovely lady. That was the wife of one of my former line managers. Came in. They did just completely out of the blue. They were on a walk through the beverage park, saw me, and we're just like, He was like, "What are you doing here?" And start chatting, and then his wife was just like, "I'm going to take a photo and put it up on Love Kirkcaldy," and I was like, "Oh, what are they on Love Kirkcaldy? I've done it. I've put a few posts up on there." And she was like, "Yeah, it's quite a good page." And I didn't know what to think of it, but I certainly didn't expect. I don't even know how many I don't know how many likes are. It's got insane amount of
lots of nice comments as well, though. I thought, which just goes to show you found a little hole in the market, because there used to be a burger van there there was a burger van there for years. That was literally just like a greasy spoon burger van, and then you get the ice cream van, but that's just ice cream and warm bottles of water, So you found a little niche because, as you know, people love coffee. So
you like to take a coffee round. So what I realised is the park, because of the way the park's built, it's basically a big massive circle.
Yeah.
So people like to do so the park run. The park runs, for example, is two laps. But it's perfect. It's like an hour walk if you walk right the way around it from car park to end, car park, and you just walk right the way around. It's been an hour. So I'm getting a lot of people that are just they'll buy a coffee on their walk because they get out of their car, they stop at me, and then they walk around, and that's just a good vibe. It's nice to be part of a community again, and then working towards that. So that's just been great. So yeah,
that's good, man.
That's been cool this week. I also saw Fantastic Four today.
Oh yes, nice one. Okay.
So we can talk about that. We'll have to do a big mad. It's not even been out for 24 hours yet. I went to Edinburgh. I went to Edinburgh on Tuesday. Saw some live comedy, which was pretty cool. Just
nice.
Maybe, and just got to stop, and I'll need to Google what the name of the shop is. I went to a shop on Leith Walk. That was like a beer shop, and got some really nice beers as well. It was the Leith Walk's really cool now. Like,
it used to be dodgy. It was dodgy for a long time.
Yeah. Well, that's what I was going to say. It's. Don't get me wrong. It's a much different place than I remember growing up. But we were in we were right near. We were down on like the foot of the walk.
Oh yeah.
Like near the foot of the walk. I'm trying to find. I'm going the wrong way on Google Maps. But just a week ago, I think we were in Cornelius Beer and Wine, which is down near the foot of the walk, right across. There's loads of stuff that.
Bear with me a second. Hang on 2 seconds. Sorry.
Oh, you're all good. Yeah. So yeah. Well, since John doesn't drink, I'll just do this while he's away. So yeah, got some beers. Nice. So I got.
Melted.
Oh,
the boy was being melted. He was being bad. Bad. Sorry.
So, I went to Cornelius Beer and Wine, and I went into a coffee. I eventually went into a coffee shop called Artisan, and they were doing like a comedy event. It was really fun. It was quite interesting. It was called their Mango event, and the whole thing. I don't know why they called it that. And so anybody watching, fire in the comments. It was called the Mango Comedy Night, and the whole idea was that everybody that was participating was either female, trans, or non-binary. Which they didn't know going in. Just googled things on in Edinburgh that night, and was like, "Oh, there's live comedy on. Go see that."
Cool.
And that was fun. So, but then somebody took my seat when I went out to get some fresh air. So I just went. We went to the Cornelius Beer and Wine shop on Leith Walk. Really, really cool. Opposite, there's like towards the bottom of the walk. There's Ancient Robots games. There's a really cool bookshop down there. There's the French bookshop that's called La Belle Adventure is down that way as well. Just a nifty wee just a nifty wee corner. Lots of cool coffee shops, lots of cool bars. I went into a bar on the corner called, I think, Mother Superior was the name of the pub, and they had Moonwake on tap, which I've just opened just now. So no, it was New Barn. I had New Barn on tap, but Moonwake are another Leith-based beer brewery. Sorry. So like Leith's like a really cool corner of it. As you said, John, Leith used to be fucking dodgy as anything. So we all watched we all watched Trainspotting and stuff.
Had a rep, yeah,
had a rep, and it's got a rep now, but it's much more of a progressive, like quite trendy. It's where all the Edinburgh hipsters have moved out to. It's pretty, but just really cool shops and real cool vibes, and lots of breweries. There's like, I think I was in Cornelius on Tuesday. I looked around. I picked four. I found four. I think maybe four breweries. Grabbed like 4 beers, and I think I didn't get all the breweries there. So I got a Campervan Brewery beer. Campervan Brewery's based in Leith. I got Moonwake. That's why I wish Stu was here. I got this beer, which I'll probably wait till next week. So 71 Brewing and Closet Brewery doing a collaboration. My understanding is 71 are based in Dundee. I don't know all that much about Closet Brewing, so I'll have to check that out. I'll come back to that. So, and Andrew's favourite beer.
I was going to say, that's a nice colour, yeah.
It's a blueberry pale ale. I'm actually surprised to see it that colour, to be honest, but
that doesn't sound too bad.
It's not bad at all. It's a very strong pale ale. It's only 3.4%, so yeah, very sessionable. Tastes quite light. Tastes quite juicy, actually, like a juice rather than It tastes like a blueberry shandy is what I would think it was.
All right, okay.
Nice, really good. So
You've
maybe
got to
not for
watch those drinks. You've got to watch those drinks that taste fruity because you can drink them easier.
Yeah, as I say, it's only 3.4%, so it's not too brutal. It wasn't too expensive either. As a result, we had an interesting conversation this week actually about alcohol content and like what makes prices of beers. We talk about this on the show quite a lot, but like why is some why? I think I picked this up and it was like a £2 or £3.20 can, and then there's cans in Cornelius that are like £6 or £7 for like. And I was, we're having quite an interesting conversation about like what causes the price to change. And I was like, well, actually, a lot of the Leith stuff is quite cheap in Leith because you can walk it. You could walk to the brewery. So actually, the guys in those breweries could, potentially just grab a backpack and go to all the beer shops in that corner of Edinburgh. You could probably do an hour and a half walk. You could probably drop off hundreds of cans to different but then all these sort of places like Cornelius, like the Cowden and Craft Beer Merchant, and Dunfermline as well. These places also specialise in getting stuff from like abroad, so it's really interesting. So you have like you can have like beers that are like 3%, but they've come from Canada, and they'll be as expensive as like a Scottish 6 or 7%, and then you'll have but then you'll also have beers that are from. You'll have beers from Scotland that are like 8% that are more expensive. You know what I mean? It's weird. Well, what I've noticed, and again, people can correct me, it seems to come down to like the pricing for beers seems to come down to like percentage and where it's come from. And there must. I wonder if there's other factors as well. But
possible.
Okay. It's really good, interesting. I was hoping to try and get Colin to come join us tonight because he posted in our group chat about Brewdog as well. They seem to be shutting.
Saw that, yeah.
I don't think like again when I worked in Starbucks, we were across the way from the Brewdog at Edinburgh Airport, and that was always fucking heaving, always really really busy, and it's an expensive bar as well. So I wonder if rather than them being a company that's when you hear about companies closing their closing chains down, you immediately think, oh, the business is in trouble. I wonder if they're just being a wee bit more streamlined and brutal with their practices, just cutting like.
Yeah. Potentially, they'd maybe look to see what the weaker branches are compared to other branches.
Yeah.
See what kind of competitors they have in the local area. Stuff like that, maybe.
Oh, maybe. Yeah. This is interesting. I'm not brutally upset that Brewdog are shutting venues down. Not a massive. It's funny. I was not a fan. We talked about that as well. Like when we first started the podcast, Brewdog were like the obvious. They were the sort of the small guys done good off the craft beer. They were that you were starting to get Brewdog in supermarkets and stuff, and it was really cool. It was really cool that you were seeing Brewdog in like shops, and we asked the guys at Cowden and Craft Beer Merchant about Brewdog, and if they were going to be, because they didn't when they first opened 6 years ago, they didn't stock Brewdog at all. And I don't know if it was me or Colin asked, or if it was someone else, but I do remember somebody saying like, "Oh, I noticed you don't do Brewdog," and he was like, "Oh." The gentleman that owns the Cowden and Craft Beer Merchant was like, it's not that I don't like their beer. They've got good beer. Actually, Punk IPA is a really good brew, but you can buy an Asda. So why would you want to? Why would you buy it here if you could buy? He's like I can't buy enough of it to make profit from it because Asda and Tesco's are now buying it in such large quantities. So that was. My understanding was that was their only issue with the company at that time was like it's almost not craft beer enough despite being a craft beer. It's just a craft beer that's got really really popular, but now it's not. It's another branch, it's another chain, it's a franchise, And from what I understand, it's quite a challenging run one. And obviously the left leaning punk of me gets quite annoyed about the fact that they're. They use punk iconography and all that sort of stuff as part of their image, despite the fact that they're a franchise capitalist based say that as somebody that owns his own like drinking brand.
Well, we'll wait till you're got your own chains of vans and you're jaded, and then we'll talk again.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I'm interested. I've not looked too much into the Brewdog story yet. I'm interested to see why they. I've read enough to see that their corporate side are pushing it as a strategic change rather than one based on loss. You know what I mean? Like, you know, they're like you said earlier, shutting down certain aspects to focus on the bits that the more like lucrative aspects of the company rather than. So yeah, we'll see. It's interesting. That's enough beer chat. How have you read anything this week?
I have.
What have you read?
I'm always reading. I'm always reading something. So I picked up Dead at 17 by Josh Howard. And it's a beast. Look at that.
That is a bit of a beast, man.
This is all 7 volumes of the fan favorite indie comic series. Yeah, I'd picked up a trade paperback that had like the first sort of 3 titles in it. And I was looking to see how much the rest were, but they're all out of print.
Yeah.
So I found this on eBay, quite cheap. Not too bad condition for what it is, so I'm quite happy with that. So I've been reading that. It's a nice horror-based comic. And on the tail end of the Archie and Jay and Silent Bob last week, I've been reading a lot of Archie digests.
That's cool, man.
I've got loads. I've got about 70 of them. I'm a sucker for a digest, and this will go back to my childhood when Marvel and DC used to reprint their stuff in the UK. Sometimes they'd reprint them in pocketbook form, and I was always a sucker for pocketbooks. I love a pocketbook. Love a nice black and white reprint, and these are just take me back. And the good thing about these is they reprint tales from 80 years worth of Archie. Each story is like 5 pages long. You know, that's a couple toilet breaks, no problem.
Yeah, totally. I was getting messages last week when you were talking about Archie. My friend was like, "Where did Joe get his Archies from?" And so I've promised. Like, I was like, Archie's like a bit of a big deal now. Obviously, thanks to sort of things on Netflix. It's like
the thing about Archie is it's been around for 80 years. So obviously they're constantly reinventing the Archie. You know, you're getting like new titles and stuff. And 2015, Archie rebranded. I think it was 2015, and they brought Mark Waid in to write Archie, and it was more up to date and modernized, and that's kind of what they based Riverdale on.
Yeah,
kind of like that look. But then Riverdale went kind of like Twin Peaks-esque at the same time, and then it went right up its own arse. But Sabrina as well. They did a popular Sabrina comic. You know, they did the Chilling Adventures of Sabrina, and that's what became the basis for the 4-season TV show. So Archie's always been around.
Yeah.
And there was a film I was a fan of years ago. I saw it on TV, and it was called Weekend Reunion. And I'd always been looking for it again. I could never find it. And it turns out it was actually an Archie movie. It was like an Archie reunion movie. But because Archie wasn't big across here in the 1990s, they just renamed it Weekend Reunion. So I never even knew that I was a fan of that back in the day.
I've never heard of it.
It was a straight to TV movie. It's cheesy as hell, but I found a nice rip on YouTube. Fantastic rip. And obviously Josie and the Pussycats as well, that film. There are actually comments.
Yeah, I love that. I had my own reasons for loving that. But that
was that movie. The soundtrack is a banger, as the kids call these days.
Is a banger.
The soundtrack is a banger, but it's a kids film that's not a kids film.
Yeah, exactly. I
mean, the boy band du jour, and I think we've talked about this on the podcast in the past. Their main song is "Backdoor Lover," and it's like, that's not kid friendly. What does that mean? We're going to be creeping in your back door? It's like, hang on a minute.
I just don't. They did cast they cast 3 of my 4 favorite the growing up.
Well, do you know they're all going to be at Comic-Con Scotland this year? Rosario Dawson, Rachel Lee Cook, and Tara Reid. and they're doing a joint photo op, and I will be there. Oh yes,
that will be expensive. I love Tara Reid was like my total like she was literally a pin-up for me. You know, like I was of that age where American Pie came out when I was 12. So all that sort of stuff. So her and Shannon Elizabeth were part of an awakening for a adolescent Jeff. And
Jeff,
I loved Josie and the Pussycats though.
Can I tell you who's also going to be at Comic-Con Scotland?
Who's that?
Shannon Elizabeth.
Do you ever see that episode? Like, she's in one of my favorite episodes of that '70s show. Have you seen the episode where like?
Yes. Yes. Was the Kelso's
Kelso's one night stand. So good.
Gets her pregnant.
Like, nobody believes him because she's so nice, and he's like, "No, it totally happened." And then reveals that like the punchline is she comes in and she's like, "I need to talk to you about that night we spent together." And so he like cuts her off so that he can walk around everyone and be like, burn. And then she turns out, it's so good. Great, yeah. I love Shannon Elizabeth as well.
Yes, so that's a great lineup for Comic-Con Scotland.
We're doing a Jeff's old bedroom wall photo shoot.
Well, they're doing a American Pie photo shoot. They're having Shannon Elizabeth and Tara Reid together, and they're also having the Josie and the Pussycats photo shoot as well. Yeah. With the three actresses, so that'll be a treat and a delight. I'm
sure it will be, man. That's cool. That's cool. I've still not been to Comic-Con Scotland. I got a message. One of the things, the Facebook Messenger. Alex DeLuca, who is an American comic creator, who works for Red 5, does an amazing. I don't know if I've got a copy. I've got a digital copy. Don't know if I've ever bought a physical copy of the Dragon Whisperer. Amazing comic called The Dragon Whisperer. Everyone should check out Red 5 Comics. An early interview for the podcast. I think he came on in episode 30 something. Just a really nice guy. He's coming through because Comic-Con Scotland, the same guys do one in Liverpool as well. Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah, they do a chain of. He's going down to the Liverpool one in November, and he emailed me. He was like, "Jeff, will you be like at this Comic-Con?" I'm like, "Nah." I was like, "Liverpool's quite far, man." Like I was like, it's not like we don't have the same view of driving that they have in the US, where it's you can. I think the US is so vast that people will drive 200-300 miles for something. And I was like, well, actually, so we had quite a nice conversation. I was like about how UK is quite dense in terms of population, and actually Liverpool's quite far. And I was like, I've not been to these. I've not been to the guys. Is it Monopoly events? I've not been to one of their events because
they're not a Comic-Con per se. They're not comic events. No, they're entertainment events and should be named as such, as we've spoken about many times in the past. Yeah. But they don't, unlike Comic-Cons in Glasgow have been to in the past. Fan Frontier, I believe they're named now. They don't have an artist's alley.
No,
they don't have that at all. They basically got the toys.
Yeah.
Large, massive prop builds. If you're impressed by a life-size X-Fighter that they built, then cool, yeah. Batmobiles, they'll build the Karate Kid Cobra Kai dojo so you can pose for photos. All that stuff's really cool. But they focus on big event guests.
Yeah.
So far this year they've got Rosario Dawson and Hayden Christensen, which are the big guests.
Yeah. Totally.
So they focus more on the spectacle rather than the actual comics. So the Comic-Con in name only. I think the one year I went, I was a guest along with a couple of trading card artists. But the only two comic creators were the guy that does Beats of War and Barry Lumsden. They're the only comic creators that were there. And they'd bought their tables. So they weren't even in an artist's alley, they were just kind of like in the middle of stuff.
That's Yeah, I don't know how I feel about that. I think if you're going to like an event knowing that, and I like we talk at length about we've talked at length about how when we go to conventions, like Artist Alley is a bit sometimes kind of pushed to the side or but it's not.
Yes.
I don't think it's what's bringing in most punters to these sort of events. So obviously,
No.
if comics were a big draw to one of these events, you would have it. So,
Well, that's it. I mean, I was thinking about being a vendor at one of these things, and I thought, I'll maybe pass. So I'm going to be got a guest spot at Dundee Card and Comic Show.
no, see that's different.
Weekends time. And I'm going to be a guest at Glen Rothes Comic and Toy Fair. So they've actually named, even though they are actually Comic Cons, they're calling them fairs and shows. So that's fair enough.
Are they,
Excelsior.
Is that
Excelsior Events?
Excelsior Events.
Excelsior Events. It's a newer company, but it's run by, I don't know if you know George Lennox, who does Cult Empire Comics.
Oh, I love George. How did they email
He's
George?
Them, yeah.
Oh,
I didn't
George.
I didn't know it was George either. I know George. So I'd seen him at cons. Don't know him to know him, but I know him as an acquaintance.
Yeah, I know to know him. So if anyone is keeping your bingo cards at handy, George Lennox is a friend of the podcast. We had George on the show a couple of times. I think he's a great guy.
Yeah. So
genuinely, he's one of those guys that trying to think of the event. I did one event in Dunfermline, and it was a BGCP event in Dunfermline. I was going to be doing it with Colin, and then Colin couldn't make it, so I ended up tabling myself. And it was, I'd only done a show by that point. There was no Jeff the Juniors yet. I hadn't done the anthology or anything, so it was generally just my old box of 2000 ADs and Spirit of Inky 1, 2, and 3. That's all I had on my table, and normally, as I felt, and George was there, and it made it quite clear that he was there. He arrived, came and saw me. He was like, "Hi Jeff, how you doing?" Shook my hand and made sure, made me feel just that wee bit more chilled and oh, I do belong here selling comics. I'm not just I felt totally at my depth for about 10 minutes until George came and spoke to me.
Yeah,
it's a great guy. Those events will be quite cool as well, and I think it's cool that they are labeling them appropriately. I don't know if that's as massive an issue.
It'd be interesting to see what the card show is like, because it's the comic and card show. It's not just a card show. I was meant to be a guest one weekend at a card show in Glasgow at the SEC, which look at the videos, looks amazing. But I was sick that weekend, so I couldn't go. But that was just a card show, whereas this is comics and cards. So I think it'd be a little bit of a mix. So I think I might just fall into that nice wee niche of comics and cards. So we'll see.
I think you already fit into that niche quite nicely.
Yeah. But yeah, so I'm looking forward to that. I didn't realise it was George until I messaged him. He sent me a message back and he's like, "Hey John, it's George Lennox." I'm like, "Oh, hello."
I love George, man. That's so cool. That's exciting. I've not read much in the way of comics. I've been reading. I took a big pile of 2000 ADs that I'm trying to work through down to the van with me. I thought, I can read 2000 ADs in between customers. And as I was telling you earlier, got a wee bit busier than I thought. So I took issue. I've got issues. I've got prog, not issue. I've got prog 2428 to prog 2451 sitting there to work through. So I grabbed. I took them all through, and I'm not even finished 2430. So I've read about 2.5 progs.
No, in fact, I think what prog I've got sitting here to read. I've got prog 2413 to read. It was the Christmas 100-page mega special.
That's not too far behind where I am.
I was in the co-op, and I thought, you know what? I don't normally buy 2000 DVDs, but I'll buy this. It's a comic in the co-op. Not something you see often, apart from Monster Fun, which they cancelled.
I like Monster Fun, but no, it was good. It was the story that I was talking about last week, where the gang that have got explosive blood. That finished up this week, which is cool. Beautifully drawn by Dan Cornwell, from a Ken Naiman script, which is good. It's really good. Really good. Really what I used to love about 2000 AD when I was younger is when you opened it and there was panels like that you were trying to convince your mum to buy your comic, and you were like, "Oh, I want to buy." Like, please don't open this comic, Mom. Please don't open this comic because actually, I'm only 11, and this is arguably not suitable for me. But it's a comic in W.H. Smith, and unless you look inside, you won't be able to tell that. So, I really part 3 of a really interesting Rogue Trooper story, which I didn't know there's a Rogue Trooper movie coming out this year. Did you know that?
Duncan Jones directing. He
Yeah.
of Moon and etc.
Yeah,
Yes.
exciting stuff.
And Moon's a great film, so hopefully that'll be just as good.
Moon is excellent. I'm looking forward to Rogue Trooper, and then obviously like I don't know if you clocked. I don't know if you're part of the 77 to 2000 AD Facebook page. It's like I put up there because I was genuinely interested, and that kind of kicked off a wee bit about how do you pronounce Bagman's character, and so obviously anyone that's not seen Rogue Trooper or Red Rogue Trooper, sorry, it's the idea that he's a cloned trooper, but he's got if I remember this correctly, he's got the personalities of his dead comrades programmed into his gun, his helmet, and his bag, and they're so that his helmet guy's called Helm. Is it Gunny? Is that his name?
Yeah.
What is that? What it's called? His gun's called, and then his bag's called. It's spelled Bagman, like Bagman, Bagman. I put up on the. So I say Bagman, but is it Bagman or is it Bagman? Like, because you wouldn't go Batman, you would go Batman.
Unless his surname was Bagman.
Is his name Bagman? But it's because it's his bag, so he's the bag man. So is it Bagman or is it Bagman? And
I saw that post come up because I'm obviously copied in on the notifications, and my phone kept going ding dong. I thought, what the hell is this? What is this trivialness on my phone? But yes, I would go Bagman.
I go Bagman.
Yeah,
like a second name, I say Bagman, but I wonder. Well, what a film coming out where you're and I know there's Rogue Trooper audiobooks out there in audio place. I've just never listened to any of them to know how he's pronounced. But there was also people how do you pronounce Slain? There was that was part I call it Slain. But apparently who's one of the creators of Slain? They were talking about it. They were talking about it in that chat as well. Like Slain isn't pronounced Slain by what's it, Gibbons? I'll find out later. But so Bagman, I pronounce him Bagman, and as of But I'm interested in how people pronounce these. So
Well, speaking of 2000 AD, it was the 30th anniversary of Judge Dredd, the Sylvester Stallone movie.
Oh.
Yep, 1995 it came out, so it hit 30 years this week. Because 2000 AD were promoting the reprinting of the comic book adaptation, which I bought.
Yeah,
that's good times.
We should celebrate by watching Dredd from 2012.
Well, see, the thing is, right, I like both films, and if they were somehow to combine the production value of Judge Dredd with Dredd, that'd be a Judge Dredd comic, right in front of you. Because
that's funny, because actually neither of them hit the tone of the comic for different reasons, and that's quite fascinating.
Yeah, but if you were to merge the two somehow, you would nail it on the head.
Because Dredd's great. I really love Dredd. I love Dredd for what it is, but it's almost too serious at times.
Yeah, Dredd is really good. It's really good. However, I do like Judge Dredd, even though it's not a good film. That's one of those not good films that I've seen 7, 8 times, 9 times. I keep thinking to myself, Judge Dredd, I'm maybe going to watch that again. Put it on and you're watching it and going, oh, this is a terrible movie. Yeah. But I still like it.
But then it got some of the stuff right, like the recycled food and stuff like that. They
got a lot. That's what I'm saying. If they somehow managed to merge the two films together, you'd have a proper.
I really love Dredd. I really loved Dredd. I loved that it was well cast. It was well acted. The action scenes are top notch, but they're missing the satire.
Yes.
and that's a massive.
The kind that allude to every so often, where they're going to do the guy for vagrancy underneath the doors of peach trees, and then the guy gets killed when the doors come down. And it's like, okay, well there you go. Then. So there's a bit of it now and again, but it's too grim for its own good.
Yeah.
But still a great film.
Yeah, I loved it, and I was very deep into Warhammer 40,000 at that when Dread came out, and me and my friend Tom, when we played 40k together, we would always have an action movie on in the background, and that was Dread. Kind of came out at that time, so Dread was very much a stalwart of just background, and it's almost like it's a Warhammer 40,000 film almost as well. It's got the grim dark there was a game that we both got into that's like the cool fucking little brother version of Warhammer 40,000 called Necromunda, which is set in the 40k universe, but it's based on gang warfare. And so you play, instead of playing as like huge armies, you play as like gangs of like 5 or 6 people in like burnout cityscapes. So it's like 40k there. There is Judge Dredd board games that are very thematically and play very similar to Necromunda. I do wonder if the guys that came up with Necromunda, because there was that weird sort of that punk, the sort of punk renaissance that went through all, or not even the renaissance, just punk in the late 70s. Music, and then obviously 2000 AD came out in 77 as well. I don't think it's a coincidence that 2000 AD came out the same year as like the Sex Pistols and that were smashing it up. I think there's definitely something that happened in the UK. But also thinking like Warhammer. I'm pretty sure the first Warhammer books and the first Rogue Trooper, Rogue Trader board game that eventually became Warhammer 40,000 came out in like the late 70s as well. I'm pretty sure Rogue, unless someone can strike me down, I'm sure Rogue Trader is like 77 as well. So people, there was definitely like people looking for some sort of aggressive creative outlet all at the same time, and it kind of, I would have been the coolest guy in 1977, going to Clash concerts, reading 2000 AD and playing Warhammer, and here I am in 2025, listening to the Clash, reading 2000 AD and playing Warhammer. But yeah, no, it's yeah, I enjoy it. So 2000 AD is just still great. Really enjoying it, and still not any clearer on how to pronounce Bagman, if that's the way to do it, or he's Bagman, or whatever. What else did I do this week in terms of reading comics? Not really a lot. I've been unpacking my house, and I found my broken tablet, which I bought deliberately to write comic books with. So I'm going to have to. There's a fucked screen in the corner.
Oh, yeah.
I'm gonna bite the bullet and go and get it repaired, or try and work out how to get it repaired, so that I can start making comics. Because I'm enjoying working in the van, and I want to sit in. I was chatting to Colin recently, and was like, actually, I've done no comic shit in almost 2 years now. So
yeah, I'm working on his strip just now for his what we mentioned a couple of weeks ago. So I'm working on that just now. So yeah. I do have lulls of creativity though, so I'm like So I'm creating some sketch cards just now for to pad out my Comic-Con table.
Yeah.
So I'm doing a few Superman and Fantastic Four sketch cards.
That's so good, man.
Just,
my issue, like, I'm not as creative as yourself, so like I've got all these ideas, but like I've hit that weird wall in my creativity where I've got a couple of issue ones and a couple of story arcs written up and typed away and on Google Drives and stuff. But to get it onto page the way I would foresee it happening is going to cost a lot of money. So, and that's the massive issue.
Yeah.
It's probably the plague of most comic writers in particular, unless you've got a talent for art or you've got a creative partnership with an artist. A lot of your ideas are stuck on a page
Well, I'm kind of the same in that I have the story, I have the character beats.
Yeah.
I have the character deaths. I've got some really gruesome deaths planned out. The deaths actually came first because it's a horror comic. The deaths actually all came first, and then the story was built around it. But yeah, it's how do you advance the plot so that, and how do you know how long it's going to be? Is it going to be 1 issue, 2, 3, or 4? That's where that's my stumbling block. Yeah,
That's it. I don't struggle that much with that. I don't manage that. I don't struggle so much with that sort of stuff. It's more for me. It's more how's this going to become what I want it to be. I only bring it up because I'm looking at it now. But I rewrote Joseph Conrad's Heart of Darkness last year. I wrote my own version of it based in the old canal networks of Glasgow. And
oh yeah, I remember telling me.
I want Joey Campbell to draw it, but that would cost me 5 figures. To get the length of story I want, drawn the way I want, by the artist I want. I know before I even spoke to her, it's going to cost me 10K plus. So actually, nah.
Well, see, that's the thing. Unfortunately, in my head, I know how it should look.
Yeah.
And I know how I want it to look. But in my head, I want it to look like a professional comic.
Mm-hmm.
So that's my stumbling block. I want it to look too professional, whereas it doesn't need to be. It's just a weird thing. I don't know. I want it to look in my head. I've got a vision of how it should be, and because it's based in a real building that I know pretty intimately, or did at one point. I see the angles like a film as opposed to a comic, which is weird. So it's how do you transpose that onto the drawn page? That's where I'm stumbling. I could do films.
It's like storyboarding as well, though, isn't it? Like
it's storyboarding exactly. Yeah, I could do a film, but it's like, right, okay, how do you? But I want to do it as economically as possible. I don't want to tell something in 10 panels that can be told in 2 or 3. So
and you can do that. It's just getting it written down first. That's what I would say. You have to have it all written down, and then you can then decide how you're going to put it into the panels that you want. Because you are right, and I've got entire. I think I'll show you an article. Spirit of NK issue 3. I had like a 10-page war scene that was like, this is going to take 10 pages, and then by the time I'd finished writing it, actually during editing, I was like, this doesn't need to be anything like this. This can just be 3 pages, and it tells exactly it tells the same story, and actually has the same impact. And I'm happier with it than it was when, because like I was writing it like kind of exactly what you're saying. I was writing it as a film, or writing it as a film scene, which would require more stuff happening. It would require longer shots of guys shooting, and actually the story doesn't require that at all. You know what I mean? Like,
well, that's the same with mine. Mine's is the main one I'm doing is it's 2 ideas meshed into one.
Yeah.
Neither one of them would work on its own, I don't think. Well, one of them might. The horror version might work on its own. But I wanted to do like a comedy version as well. So, but try and mash the 2 of them together, and then I just keep coming up with stupid ideas. But that'll work. Like, how do I work it into the story? Does it need to be there? So that's where you're. Maybe need an editor. I might need an editor. Who knows?
I've had an editor on every one of my comic books, and they definitely make it's actually quite a fun part of the process. When you stop being so like, I remember the first time my first editor was Colin, actually handing him Spirit of NK issue 1 to edit the script, and he totally tore it apart. And I got a bit upset. I remember getting a bit upset and being like, I don't even think if I can do this. And he was like, why? He's like, your script's fine. This is just part of the process. He's like, this is part of it. He's like, I'm not telling you your book's undoable or shit. I'm just, you have to edit it. Otherwise, like at the moment, it needs these cuts. That's exactly what you're saying. It's having an editor look at it and go, why? What are you trying to? what are these two panels? Why are they there? What do you want
Yeah.
to convey? And then, yeah, you can. Yeah, it's about just it's exciting. It's exciting. You have to get it written all down first, John. Do that. Get it all written down, and then give the script to somebody and see what they say.
You see this pile of paper here. These are little post-it notes that I scribble on during my breaks. And it's like lots of random bits of paper with like wee storyboards and little action beats on them and stuff. So there's a whole load of them. It's weird. But yeah, I'm getting to the point where the story's there, but it's just but they're all little bits of paper. They're everywhere.
That's good, man. It's still exciting. It's exciting stuff. You just need to get it done. That'd be fun.
Get it done. Get it done.
Get it done. Yeah, but I need to do the same. So yeah, my plan this week is to see if anybody can fix my tablet, because it's an Honor, which I don't think is like it's not necessarily like, you can go and get an iPad fixed quite easily because everyone uses it.
Yes.
But I don't know who fixes Honors in Scotland, so I need to go find out. Will we put a spoiler warning? I'll put a spoiler warning banner on. I'd like to talk about the Fantastic Four since we've both seen it.
Yes. Spoiler warning. We'll do what? We'll do a little reaction first, and then we'll go into maybe some spoilers. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm just going to put a Fantastic Four thing up, spoiler thing, just because I don't want to. It's just come out. So Fantastic Four has just come out. We've both seen it. We'd like to talk about it. If you don't want any, I think we can be vague enough in the start, but if you don't want to know anything about, just fucking come off the episode now. Banner's there. Then they get annoyed at us. I really enjoyed it. Fantastic Four. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
Superman was better, I think. Of the two, I enjoyed Superman more.
Yeah. Superman had more of an impact on me. And it's 2 weeks later. I'm still thinking about it, and there's still videos popping up on my Facebook feed and my YouTube feed. And I keep watching, and I'm like, So Superman had more of an impact, but Fantastic Four was still really good. The two films I wanted to see this summer, that was the two films I wanted to see. So Superman, that was my main priority. Fantastic Four looked great. I was like, I'm on board. That cast is good. I'm on board. And I really enjoyed it. Solid film.
Yeah, it's solid. As I say, it's of the two, Superman's still sitting with me. I don't know if Fantastic Four will sit with me in a couple weeks' time, but it was fine. I enjoyed it. It was better than fine. It was really good. Beautifully cast. Matt. I didn't realize that guy was Matt Gatiss. Mark Gatiss. Sorry, the guy
League of Gentlemen.
Writer and actor on Doctor Who. And Sherlock and stuff. Just it's cool. It's cool to see them, and also the Fantastic Four, amazing themselves, amazing casting. I think my favorite, and again, strike me down and tell me I can't ever put her back on my wall again. But I do think this Sue Storm was better than all the other Sue Storms we've had, including Jessica Alba.
But we won't talk about Jessica Alba. They made her wear blue contacts, and they gave her a blonde wig so she could look vaguely related to Johnny Storm.
Yeah,
which they just didn't even allude to in the other Fantastic Four, the Josh Trank version. It was kind of right, okay, well, he's adopted or she's adopted or whatever, So, but Fantastic Four, wonderfully cast. Just a good film. And once again, much like, and here we go, spoilers. Like Superman, it's already an established world. You're not getting the origin for the first 50 minutes. The origin's covered in 2 minutes tops. So that was really good. They covered the origin within 2 minutes, and then they've been an established team. Just get on with the story.
It's good, and I like that they functioned as a team as well. That's always been, as far as any sort of the Fantastic Four movies in the past, it's always been about the dysfunction of the team, and we need to get together to do this. And actually, you just completely missed that. They functioned already. They knew, like you said, they were already established. They knew each other. They knew what to expect from each other. There wasn't much angst from Ben for being a rock monster anymore, and it was good.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I've seen other comments, and I totally agree that it's one of the first Marvel films in a long time that you can go in to watch without having done your homework.
Yeah,
you don't have to watch the end credit sequence for the past 5 Marvel movies. Even though there was a spoilers if you haven't seen it, Thunderbolts. There was a Fantastic Four tag on the end of that, which has nothing to do with this movie at all.
Yeah, I thought there was a couple of moments where I went to see it with Sonny. A couple of moments where Sonny was like, "I wonder if this is what's going to happen," and I did the same. We saw it quite an empty screen, so we're kind of able to lean over and go, "I wonder if it's that." I thought there was a couple moments in the movie. I don't know if that was done on purpose, where I thought they were going to head to the MCU.
I think it was quite cleverly done as a misdirect.
Yeah.
So you think to yourself, oh, that's going to happen in this film. It looks like it's going to happen in Doomsday or Secret War, one of the two. So
I counted two, maybe a third if I'm thinking really hard. That there was 2 occasions where I thought, oh, this is how the MCU is going to come into it, and they didn't go there, and I was like, oh wow. But I think they're coming back
essentially, what I say is they're back for the Fantastic Four will next appear in Doomsday. Yeah, it's in one of the end credit sequences. Yeah,
that brilliant. Really good. I think the thing that blew me away was the cast more than anything of any of the film. I think there wasn't anything particularly mind blowing. There wasn't anything that I went, oh, that's fucking cool. When I don't think any of the Fantastic Four individuals do something. There's usually a bit in a movie, in like a superhero movie, right? Oh, that was cool. There wasn't a moment for me where I was like, oh, that's a really clever use of that power. Or
there wasn't so much that for me, but there was just like one scene where I was like, holy Jesus, and that was when they were escaping from Galactus.
Yeah.
And they're getting chased down by the Silver Surfer. That scene was amazing.
That scene was
it just kept ramping up, and it was like, wow. That
scene
was
the bit where
really good.
Sue's having the baby, and it's just showing them all trying to use their powers, get away from the Silver, but also trying to be supportive of each other. It was really good.
Exactly.
I thought the dilemma of like, is one baby worth the world?
Yeah, that was quite clever as well. Yeah,
I thought that was a really powerful question to ask, and actually, are they? I think somebody called Sue Storm selfish, and then she went out and explained that like all humanity is our family, so therefore, what you're asking me to do is what you're asking you to do that for yourselves, and that was all kind of cool. I thought maybe a bit too neat, where all of a sudden, she went out and has a speech, and then all of a sudden the whole world's prepared to like build giant space bridges and let Reed Richards jump the whole world to another dimension. I thought that was like, would the whole planet get behind that?
Well, to think about it, it's another. I think it's the second Marvel movie back to back that's been really tight. It's been under 2 hours.
Yeah.
Including end credits, because Thunderbolts wasn't long, and this Fantastic Four was 115 minutes.
Yeah,
including end credits. And if you stay did you stay for the end credits? Did you stay right till the end?
Yeah, stay for the mid one, but Sonny really needed the toilet, so I'll have to wait until the end credit comes up on YouTube.
It's nothing spectacular.
I've read what it was and been like, oh, as a comic fan, I would have enjoyed that.
Yeah,
it was like a nod to Kirby, wasn't it?
It's fun. But there were some kids who were sitting on the screen that I was watching, and they were like, we waited all this time for this. They weren't very impressed, but I was like, you know what? Adds to the fun in the movie. Adds to the fun. Yeah. So, but no, I really enjoyed Fantastic Four. Production design was amazing.
Oh,
that version of New York. Wow. Yeah, it was very cool.
Yeah, I thought it was really cool as well. Yeah, no, I totally enjoyed it. I really liked Galactus. The Galactus was really well done.
Yes, Vinci. Vinci is Galactus
Yeah, I said
from The Office.
I didn't. I'm not a massive Office fan. I knew him as
All right, okay.
I knew him as the voiceover guy. Like I googled to find out who he was yesterday. I was like, oh, actually, I haven't thought about that. And he does like loads of adverts for like fucking mouthwash and shit, doesn't he? He's like a big advert voice. The guy that plays
He's
Galactus.
done a lot of stuff. He's done a lot of stuff as well. Yeah, Ralph
I also remember him.
Anderson. Yeah.
He was one of the main. He was one of the. I know it's like an anthology or not an anthology series. Like a series with a big cast. But did you ever watch Chernobyl?
Have I ever watched it? I just bought it at a charity shop for £1.
Oh wow, that's a well.
For £1.
Have you not played it yet?
I haven't watched it yet. No, it's on the ever-lending. Don't tell me what happens in it.
Make sure you've got the Office ready because it's a hard watch, man.
No spoilers for what happens in Chernobyl.
No spoilers, but like.
Don't tell me the thing blows up. Jesus.
It's just not very. It's not a fun experience, as you imagine. It's a lot of people.
I don't imagine it would be, yeah.
No, so I would have something else ready, just like a palate cleanser or something that'll help you.
Oh yeah, I'm watching Gravity Falls just now as well. So
yeah, just
can jump.
Talking about programs to stay with you, but yeah, the guy that does whatever his name is, the guy is the voice of the guy that's Galactus has quite a pivotal role in Chernobyl. He's in Chernobyl, and he's one of the main commanders of the Soviet government. So, and that's where I knew him from when I was looking at his like Wikipedia to find out what I would recognize him from. Obviously, they're talking about Harry Potter and they're talking about Game of Thrones. Maybe
he was in Game of Thrones. Yeah. But for me, it'll be Finchie from The Office.
Yeah.
Forever.
Who's that? Jennifer Garner. Who is she? What would I know her from?
Jennifer Garner, I believe, was in The Ozark with Jason Bateman on Netflix.
I've seen the first season of that. I've seen the first season. I know it's the first season I enjoyed, but I've been told it's one like I've been told that it falls into one of those categories where I thought you need to stick with it because the second season is amazing. And I remember watching the first season and being like, it was fine, but I'm not super duper like going out my way to watch the second season. To the point I haven't.
There's a show I started and everyone says is amazing, but I couldn't get past the first episode. It's For All Mankind on Apple TV Plus.
No.
Andrew keeps going on about it. It says basically it's like an alternate version of the space race.
Yeah.
And I watched the first episode. And I'm like, I'm not really interested in going back and watching any more of that. So, which is odd because normally I'll stick with something.
Yeah.
But no, I'm not interested in going back.
I think I'm a casualty of just too many programs and stuff, and then obviously we talk about all the things that are on our list. Like we were mentioning earlier this week, I've still not seen season 4 of Stranger Things, and looks like Stranger Things season 5 is going to be like 8 movies.
Yeah. Well, season 4 was getting towards. I think the last episode of season 4 was 2.5 hours.
It's crazy.
A movie in itself. Stranger Things season 4 was a banger. Oh, it was amazing.
So it's really definitely
if you like season 3, with
I really like
Starcourt at the end, that was good.
Yeah.
Battle of Starcourt Mall. But yeah, season 4, really good as well, really fun. But yeah, season 5 is going to be epic. But yeah, like I say, there's just too many programs to watch. And I know Andrew's a big fan of shows dropping all at once so he can binge them.
Yeah.
And I am with some shows, but at the same time, it's like, okay, I've still got to watch 10 episodes of this before I can watch 1 episode of that. So it's like, Urgh. So some shows that drop weekly, I don't mind.
I was saying it depends on the show. Like I was quite enjoying that Daredevil was weekly. But then I also quite like that the bear was dropped. The bear always gets dropped as a season. So yeah, I think it depends on the show.
I've never watched that. But that's probably what 30-minute episodes.
Yeah,
The bear, or yeah.
some episodes slightly longer, but and then some episodes
Yeah.
are quite short. It's like episodes are like 18 minutes long, and you're like, oh, okay. I feel like I've just turned that on and it's done.
Kind of like a Ted Lasso type of deal, yeah. So where some episodes are short, some episodes are long,
Yeah,
depending on the beats of
the
the story.
story
Yeah.
and what the point they're trying to tell you. Yeah. Hi.
Yeah.
I'm going to watch Stranger Things season 4. I guess my next watch. Need to get my starting a business, trying to get things sorted there. But I definitely want to get my laptop and a wee coffee table and just start popping TV shows on when I'm like not serving customers.
That's it. Yeah.
Yeah. But that's it. That's pretty much me this week. You got anything exciting happening this weekend?
No. I'm working Friday, Saturday. Only managed to get this afternoon off because I put in for some emergency holiday.
Okay.
Which is meant to be used for like going to the dentist or like your dog's dying or something. But I was like, nope. Fantastic Four. It's an emergency. I must go. Marvel needs me.
Yeah.
They need my money.
I think it's the emergency. There is one of these things that it's a program that will get kind of a movie, so that will get spoiled quite quickly. I think you're already seeing stuff for Superman. So stuff for Ironheart, and I didn't even watch Ironheart, and I have no intention of watching Ironheart. But I know the twists in that. So
yeah, that was spoiled within like a day.
Yeah,
not even a day. Doctor Who as well. Even Doctor Who would be like, really? At the end of that season there, Doctor Who, they were like, really?
Even BBC started to spoil it. You know, like
it was on the BBC page. It was on their feed. I was like, dirty bastards.
Yeah.
They can't wait to do it. Yeah.
No.
It's literally, yeah. I mean, I saw a spoiler for I Know What You Did Last Summer. And that's only just come out. And that was posted by one of the stars of the film. I thought, it's been out for like 4 days. People haven't had a chance to watch it yet, you know. Yeah. So not that was going to be like, oh no, there's going to be spoilers for that film. It's a slasher film, spoilers. Yeah, maybe just wait till that comes out streaming.
I've not seen any of the I Know What You Did Last Summer movies or anything.
Oh yeah, but yeah, I was a fan of the first one because that came out. It was written about that kind of that Dawson's Creek time.
Yeah.
And all the actors were in stuff with other actors that were in stuff with other actors, and it was all that kind of Matthew Lillard, not Matthew Lillard, Freddie Prinze Jr., Sarah Michelle Gellar kind of crossover with all other actors from different things, and they were all in the same thing. So when you're watching films and TV like Buffy, you couldn't escape all the actors. So
totally, I hear you. Yeah, I think I remember like going to gatherings at high school, and the girls that I was hanging around with that were slightly older were all into like Scream and Buffy and all that sort of stuff, but maybe just a bit too young for me. Like I was a wee bit too young to and just I used to hang around with two girls in particular. There was a year above me when my friend was dating, and they were right into like quite scarily into things like The Craft and Buffy and stuff like that. You know, it's all like that late 90s, like I think Ghost World, all these movies and stuff that all kind of came out at the same time.
Yeah, it was kind of like the big kind of late 90s, early 2000s teen horror movies. There was loads of them, like The Faculty and I Know What You Did Last Summer. I Still Know What You Did Last Summer. Urban Legend, Scream, Valentine. There's just loads of them, yeah. Jeepers Creepers, as Andy would say. Jeepers Creepers. Yeah, there's just loads of them out there, but they all feature like the same actors crossing over, you know.
Yeah,
or appearing as cameos, and then obviously you get the crossovers with like the romantic comedies, like She's All That, Boys and Girls, and American Pie, and all that, and all the actors would be in the films. So yeah, it was great fun.
I used to love. I used to go about. I had a friendship group where we used to try and do the connection game where you would like act. You know, you would name two people from Hollywood, and like I know
the 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon.
Yeah, like, but we would do it with anybody, and it didn't need to be 6 degrees.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Thanks to
we do it at work.
It's easier now. Thanks to things like the things like the MCU have totally killed that game, though.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
it's easy. You can link actors in one film, you know, or they're in the same film.
Yeah,
really? Yeah, they're in that film. Yeah, so yeah.
It was shooters. I remember playing it, and there was Keith Sutherland and Charlie Sheen were the one that was given to me. Charlie Sheen and Keith Sutherland. I was like, oh, they're both the Three Musketeers, and no one else in my friendship group had seen it. They're like, what? It's like, and I like that's what I used to always think about you. Like, you'd link actors between movies that folk had never heard of. I remember being like, oh, I think it was like Ewan McGregor. I'm trying to remember who I got given once. It was like Ewan McGregor and Marlon Brando, if I can remember correctly. I was able to do it by. I was able just to go. I did it in 2 steps. Could you do it? You get from Ewan McGregor to Marlon Brando. You probably do it quite easily. Ewan McGregor to Marlon Brando in 2 steps.
Yeah, you could, because you could do Marlon Brando to Robert De Niro. Any of the actors that are in Godfather, and then you can link it back to Samuel L. Jackson, who's in films with all these people, who was in Star Wars with Hugh McGregor. Yeah, there's lots of different ways to do it. Yeah, I did it.
Yeah, I did it as Hugh McGregor is in Moulin Rouge with John Leguizamo. And this is the only reason I bring this up as my linking, because you could probably do it with anybody that's in Moulin Rouge. There's so many folk. You know, Jim Broadbent's in that movie. You could probably and Nicole Kidman. So you could probably find another route that way. But I just did it. I remember at the time being really smug. It's like 20 years ago, being able to go, Hugh McGregor's in Moulin Rouge with Louisiana, who is in Super Mario Brothers with Dennis Hopper, who's in Apocalypse Now with Marlon Brando. And then my friendship, one of the folk in my friendship group going, what Super Mario Brothers movie? And we being like, what? Have I got a story for you? Remember telling kids that as well. I remember teaching and somebody going like, "Oh, I wish they did a Mario Brothers movie." I can't remember what the context was, but people saying, "I wish they did a Super Mario Brothers movie," and I was like, or Super Mario movie. I was like, "Oh, they did one. It was terrible." And then being like, "What?" And like totally not believing me, and me looking for it, and being like, I'm like, "Is this a fan made thing?" I was like, "No, that's John Leguizamo and Bob Hoskins." It's like they're both very famous actors.
Yep.
I think very perfectly well cast as Mario and Luigi, but just that's a shit
film. Yeah, it's not a good film. Yeah, but yeah, you're right. Yeah, good cast.
Yeah, great cast. Yeah. Anywho, I don't know how we're going to that. I enjoy your. I'm trying to think what I'm doing this weekend. I'm hopefully meeting Andrew and Tom to watch football on Sunday, and I think we're talking about doing our football related podcast next week at some point. So as well as in the Brewgooders Beer and Comics, we also have we also present a spin-off thing sometimes called A Brew from the Terrace. But also I'm also hoping to try and get something together with Stu and have a chat with him as well, because obviously some important people in our sort of cultural world passed away this week as well. So
yeah, definitely.
That was a bit crazy. Obviously, Ozzy Osbourne was a massive loss. I know definitely for Stu. You know, he was a humongous Black Sabbath fan, and his colleague in the Lager Logs from the Birmingham area. So you know, it's just a massive loss. And Stu's a massive rock fan, but the Black Sabbath were, in particular, also Osbourne were really important to him. Also, the Hulk Hogan passed away a couple hours ago. Well.
Hulk Hogan, yeah, I saw that. Yeah, 71 years old. Yeah.
Yeah, I actually can't believe he was that old.
It's when you do the calculations. It's when you do the maths. You go, right, okay, well, such and such is that age. But how can they be? Then you think, well, they were 20 and like 1975. Then you go, okay, right enough, okay, you've got me.
He was in his mid-40s during the NWO, which was in 96, 97. And he was already deemed as a wrestling, wrestling age. That was like he was ancient. By that point, 71. A really controversial figure, but obviously a very influential one nonetheless. So, it's a shame.
Yep.
Yeah. So hopefully some podcast next week to chat. I'd like to chat to Stu about Hulk Hogan because quite an influential, like a massive part of my childhood. But then also just got other conversations that we had, and it'll be interesting to see how the narrative, all right, we'll leave it there then. Don't have to be like, oh, let's have a bigger conversation about stuff like that.
And on that note, death. Good night.
Also, I'm looking forward to reading some 2000 ADs, seeing other people selling some copies. I'm really looking forward to Sunday. So if anybody wants to, including yourself, I know you don't like football, but it's the Women's European Cup final. It's good fun to watch. England are playing Spain or Germany.
One of the countries.
Spain or Germany, I think. I want to say Spain, but I actually think the game's getting played as we speak. So, Euro finals. Who will England play? Spain beat Germany 2 hours ago. That's fine. So yeah, it's England versus Spain on Sunday evening at 8 o'clock. So if anybody's around, just drop us a message. It'll be nice to hang out. Yeah. Thank you for joining us. Cheers for coming on, John. All the best, everybody. Have a nice night.
Take care. Good night.